Dumelang and welcome to Forever and Always. I'm your host Michelle Lima and thank you so much for joining us. So today we're actually joined by a beautiful couple that has been highly requested on both Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. So today they're going to share a little bit more about their journey into marriage and just behind the camera, who are they really? Welcome Mr. and Mrs. Mokoena.
Hey.
Yeah, as well known as the KOENAS.
KOENAS, yes.
Famous KOENAS. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. So we've been seeing quite a lot of your YouTube videos and you guys have been sharing quite a lot more. And one of the most important things that I really love about you guys particularly is the fun element you guys bring to, this whole institution called marriage, the laughter and the joys. And that's been really cool to witness. So tell me a little bit more about yourselves as a married couple.
Where do we start?
Hey, it's a journey.
Yeah, it's a journey. I think, so the main headline of our love story is he took 5 years to propose.
Whoa, wait, just pause there. Firstly, what took you so long, Daddy? Hey?
Come on.
That's like a kid walking. Okay, the kid has walked, crawled, talked, going to school.
Just 5
That's the whole kid. Get school fees.
What took you so long?
I had to make sure, things had to be in the right place at the right time, and yeah.
How soon were you expecting him to pop the question?
Clearly, the 5 years is so long, and yeah.
But no, actually, on that note, so I have a prophetic gift and I can see. So within 3 months of us officially dating, I had a dream. His mom was giving me cows. And so I'm just like, okay, God, oh my gosh, what do you mean? I don't even know this guy. Oh my gosh, it's too soon. And I was like, you know what? Okay, God, confirm it. And literally a month later, I had another dream. It's his mom, my parents, and I'm in a separate room, but I'm seeing money on the table. So within 4 months of dating, I knew he was the one, but I couldn't tell him because spiritually we weren't really there yet, and I didn't know. Okay, I don't want to be that spooky girl, I had a dream. So I saw you. So yeah, within 4 months I knew, and I knew I wasn't ready in 4 months, but I had a picture and I knew, okay, God, this is the one you have, placed for me. And so I had to wait now.
Hey, he's not a man that he should lie.
He is not. He is not. And so, yeah, that was my prophecy, and I ran with it. And I guess the prophecy, I think it kept me going, but also very impatient because I'm like, Daddy God, although you say they that wait upon the Lord, but hey, I'm just like, no. And so year after year, I'm growing impatient. Year after year, the questions are coming. Year after year, you're watching people who've been dating for like 2 years get married. And you're like in your 4th year, and you're just like, brother.
Does the doubt start creeping in?
People in their 10th year, 15th year?
No, that's besides the point, bro.
5 years.
And you're getting the pressure from, friends, family. Everyone's asking, is this guy playing with you? And you don't want to be that spooky girl, but I saw the dream. I saw the dream.
It's coming.
It's coming. And I guess we just had to plug in and wait. And wait. He says he had to put things together.
Yeah, as you know, I had to sort out a few things. I wasn't ready. I had this whole tick list, if I may call it that.
Yeah.
That before I wanted to get married, I wanted to have this and this, a house and what. But funny enough, I got to a point where those things didn't even matter because I just wanted to be with her. And I think that was the moment where that was the 5th year where I said, you know what, this is it. So yeah. I think, generally we just, as guys, we put ourselves under so much pressure because we want to achieve certain things before we can commit, And if those things don't happen, then 10 years, 20 years, then it never really happens. So it's up to you as a guy to say, you know what, if you wanted to buy a house, we'll buy a house together,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let's just do this thing and go forward. Yeah.
I think the impatience was also the fact that we're living apart.
Yeah.
So I'm still with my parents, he's still with his. And so I'm just like, brother,
Yeah.
how do you enjoy knocking on the door now every time you want to see me?
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess living apart also, maybe it woke you up in a way.
It
I don't
did.
know.
It
I don't
did.
know, because my goodness. Yeah, there's nothing worse than not being able to be with your person every single day. And yeah,
And you couldn't wait. And then he finally proposes.
finally
I didn't propose.
doesn't propose.
By the way, no, sent a letter.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't
Sent a letter.
propose. He proposed to my parents before me.
Wow.
So yeah, and that's what it was. You know, his dad wrote the letter.
Yeah.
He comes to work and he's like, it was during break time. So I'm an educator, and I literally walk out the gate. He's like, okay, you can give this to your parents now. And I'm like, okay.
What is this?
You know, and so okay, I call mom and dad. Okay, there's a letter coming, and you know they're besides themselves because they're like, brother, we've been. And so I hand the letter to them, and my dad says, okay, but did he ask you? And I'm like, no, he didn't.
But I didn't have
But-
to because you've been ready.
Yeah,
since, you know.
But it was beautiful that it worked out that way. You know, I think we're so quick to want to do the whole proposal and the, you know, before your parents, you know, even know. And so I appreciated that, you know, he sees that value in my parents and that he'd rather they, you know, give me away before he just, and we're out here on Instagram,
Yeah.
you know?
What is that?
Yes.
Cool. All right. So the letter gets sent, and you doing the lobola negotiations. That's done. And then once that was done, did you guys have a white wedding?
Yes, so we had after the lobola was done, we had a groom's welcome. So they welcomed me into their family.
Yeah.
And that was when we actually finished off the maradi.
Everything happened in like 2 months.
Yeah.
The letter came end of August, October, the negotiation, November.
November
we
was
had
my
the
welcome.
first
Yeah.
traditional, yeah.
Yeah, so that was my welcome. And then, we had a nice ceremony there. That's where I gave her the engagement ring. So yeah, that was my proposal.
Yeah, but it's awkward because he's already paid. So
It's like no
yeah,
moment
it's
of
done. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's done. So now he's gonna, will you marry me? And I'm like, but okay,
We here.
it's not like we
We
can
here.
refund.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that was it.
Yeah, and
And then after that, we started to plan the white wedding, which was in March. It was about, 4 months after that?
yeah.
November to
March 2018.
March
Yeah.
2018, yes.
So you guys could only move in with each other after the white wedding.
After the white wedding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes sense. So after the white wedding happens, there's that exciting moment you guys are, officially going to move in together, which is the fun thing. Tell me a little bit more about that. The moving in together, after the white wedding, the exhaling. It's happened, it's done, with the love of your life, and now life starts unrolling itself.
So we basically decided to live with my parents for a certain period.
Did we
you know?
decide, or was it like a request? We were like,
No, we decided.
okay.
Because initially
But the request
we
helped.
wanted. Okay, the request did help, yes.
So they requested that you guys just to settle in.
Yeah.
Get to know, for me to get to know them, you know, as my
Yeah.
parents, and I think getting to serve them as my parents. And so he is right, we moved in.
Yeah, which was a blessing actually.
Yeah.
Because after moving in, we lived with my parents for about 6 months, and then my dad passed away, short illness. So I think that 6 months, you know, she got to spend time with him, you know, and know him, you know. So I think that was God.
It actually
was
did
God.
work out because originally we wanted to move out. You know, get into our own space. It's been 5 years now, and I see this person, and so there's so many bad connotations around being a makoti and kotizing, and so there was that anxiety. Oh my gosh, I'm moving into this new environment, this new home. What am I gonna have to do? Oh my gosh, is it a real thing?
Yeah.
And they really welcomed me with so much love, and if anything, it felt like home. And so, and that's why I'm so grateful that it happened the way it did, because I got to know my father-in-law, even though for that, short time, but I got to know, how he likes his tea and, how he wakes up in the morning and what time he's back from work, so that the table must be set. He loved sitting on the table.
Yeah, no, he was.
So small things like that, in hindsight, I'm like, okay, shucks, I'm actually glad we didn't, move out, because I would have been robbed, of those moments.
Sure. Wow, my condolences about your father. So after that, after the 6 months, you guys dash off to move in together.
No.
Wow.
We can't. We can't.
Yeah, well, after the 6 months, so basically, I've got an older sister. She's married and living with her husband. So basically, I was the last born. I'm the only one left, and it was just me and my mom left. After my dad. So now we're at a point where we feel like, let's not leave her alone. Let's, chill with her for a few more months, and then when she's ready, when we're ready, we'll move out. Yeah. So that's where we are currently, actually.
Yeah. So we're still at home.
Living with her.
I mean, Michelle, it was the four of us in the house the whole year.
Yeah.
And so, if we leave, we're leaving her alone in that big house. And so that's the sacrifice we had to make.
Yeah.
It was a hard sacrifice, but we have to be there for her, because grief, you'll never get prepared for grief. Even premarital counseling can never prepare you for grief, especially if it's so close. And remember, with us, we're just fresh into marriage, and we're thinking, oh my word, bells and whistles, honeymoon, and we're hit, with this death. And now it's, oh my goodness, I know a different form of my husband. He's not the same. To this day, I don't think he's the same. And it's working around that feeling of grief. It's working around and trying to see, I think, the light in every situation. It was hard. It was hard seeing him, depressed. This is his dad, someone he looks up to, someone who raised him. And so being there for him in that moment, I think, if there was no test for my wifery, I think that was it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did it put a strain on the marriage a little bit?
Yeah, it did. It definitely did. Because I feel like I was in this little hole. I was in a corner, and I was neglecting my duties as a husband, if I can call them, because it was bad. It really hit me hard, And she would be like, no, let's go out for a drink, let's have dinner. And I'd be like, I don't feel like going out, you know what I mean? So, but I think now it's getting much, much better. I mean, I think I can say that we're getting back on our feet again.
It's a year now.
Yeah.
So, we're seeing that the sun is shining. Joy does come in the morning, and I always add the you to the morning. In the morning as well, joy will come. And it's been a learning curve.
It has.
It's been hard though, Buba. Yo.
It's been tough, no?
Yo, it's been something else. But
what are the things that you had to sort of kind of look out for in him? That he's going through this thing. I mean, the pain can never be equated, because it was his dad. He raised him, and you also don't want to be insensitive at the same time, but you want to cheer him up at the same time. So it's very complex. What was that like for you, and what are the things that you had to kind of like tiptoe around or look out for?
So one thing I realized, I don't know if it's a cultural thing. It's not really cultural, but I think there was a certain expectation soon after his father's passing that now he needs to step in those shoes. And now stepping in those shoes would almost mean he must now become a husband to his mother now. Stepping in those shoes could mean, his father is a pastor. So that means, okay, now he must jump in his father's, role in ministry. And so it's nerve-wracking, because you're sitting here and you're like, okay, God, where then does this marriage fit in? How do I, where's my role as his wife? Also trying to be supportive to the fact that my mother-in-law just lost, her everything. And so I'm in that tug of war. I need to be supportive because he's going through this grief. He needs to be there for his mom because shucks, her world is torn apart, and I can't be that demanding wife. Okay, no, now we must move out. Or okay, no, but now we must go out. Okay, no, we must. You know, I need to understand that. You know what? He needs to be there. He's also got a lot on his shoulders because now it's, shucks, what does this mean for me as a man now? What does it mean for me as a son to my mother, who has to now take care of her, because we have to take care of her now. We're literally all she has, you know. And so it taught me to sacrifice. It taught me to understand then the role of the helper, I think.
Wow.
The role of the helper in that state is that I cannot make demands. I cannot be unreasonable. I cannot, because now's the time where he needs me the most. And if I'm not helping him when he is so low and I'm trampling on even more, then it could really be to our demise. So yeah, it was hard. Also, you mentioned, you know, the feeling. So I did feel that, okay, shucks, I have to be strong. Everyone expected me to be strong because they thought, you didn't really know his dad, so you can't really be feeling anything. Your dad is still alive, you know, so you're good. And so you hear those things and you feel those things. Oh, sorry. And you feel those things, and if anything, I believe in a quote, it says, strangers actually know you more than your family or your friends. I need to cough. Ooh. And, okay. So the saying goes, strangers actually know you more than your close friends. And I found that in that 6 months, man, I got to know the man, I got to love the man, I got to experience him. We'd sit late at night waiting for him to knock off, and we would chat. And so it was hard that I had to be more strong because, you don't know him. Well, in actual fact, I did feel. It may not have been on a great scale, but I did feel that loss. But I couldn't feel the loss because I had to be there for him. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Mokoena, what was that like for you? I think now the loss, and now getting into a position of you're trying to figure out your role now as a man in both the marriage and in both to the family. What was that like?
It was tough, eh? I mean, sure. Yeah, it was very tough. But I think she helped me so much. That's why she was saying, if there was an award, me, I give you that award, baby. Right now, you're taking it. Award, no, you know, because, you know, looking at my wife and my mom, you know, and I felt that I needed to be strong for them, you know. But there's only so much of strength that I have. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I did try my best to carry them both. And, you know, Ash, what can I say? Sadly, it was at a sacrifice to our marriage. But I think at that point, it needed to be done. And we prayed about it. You know, we'd pray every day. And God gave us strength to obviously move through and pull through. So yeah, it was tough, honestly. I can't even describe it, you know what I mean? But yeah.
Yeah, and I think like you also said, nothing prepares you for grief at all. No matter how much lessons, prayer life you've got, whatever it is grief. And you have to really uncover that. So yeah, thank you. We're gonna go for a short ad break, and don't forget you can still engage with us on all of our social media platforms. You can follow the KOENAS on their social media platforms on the screen, and we'll see you guys in a bit.